Hey everyone, it's time to look at goals and stats and things again. Q3 is over and we're already in Q4, making our way to the end of 2024 and way for new goals and stats and everything. So let's start with reading goals and life goals afterwards. Now, I have to look down a little bit for my stats, but with reading goals, I'm doing okay and great numbers wise. With the things I set out to read and the plans I made, not so much. So by the end of September, I have read 115 books in total. 64 of those were on audio, 24 were ebooks, and 27 were physical. So a nice up in physical books there, but that's probably because of the physical books I read on vacation. Anyways, good one. I read a total of 1,595 pages and listened to almost 30,000 minutes. So that is quite a lot. My average is almost the same as in the last quarter. So it's about 1,700 pages per month and 3,400 minutes per month, which is more than it used to be. But let's be real. I normally haven't read 115 books by the end of Q3. So I'm doing really well numbers wise. And also when it comes to the length of the books, even though my average book length is about 285 pages and the audiobook is with 441 minutes, also not very long and a little bit lower than last quarter, but that might be blamed on all the short things I read over the summer. The instant gratification of finishing things, the lack of focus, all of that is to blame, and I don't even mind. It's nice to try and read longer books because I keep putting them off, but I also don't mind picking up the shorter books. And what I can see in all this reading is that I've been doing a lot of escapism. Let's throw in the chart of genres from Storygraph and we can see that fantasy is way up. So a lot of escapism has happened. I have read a lot of fantasy and science fiction as well on audio as reading, and I'm fine with that. I just don't have the brain space to really enjoy super complex novels right now. I'm hoping this will be better sometime, but currently October doesn't look like it. So what other stats did I do? I really messed up my stats. I tried going by percentage this year, and I think I messed up the calculations and things. I'm not really sure if I'm doing a good job. I definitely decided already that next year I'm going to redo my spreadsheet for different stats because the ones that I'm currently following they're okay, but they're not servicing me anymore. So they're not challenging me or changing how I'm reading. So looking at nonfiction, for example, I've only read 7%, and that's the same as last quarter. So there is no rise in nonfiction currently, but I'm also not interested in reading nonfiction. And I vaguely have the goal of trying to have my reading 20% nonfiction, but I don't care enough to actually do it. That's something I really noticed with my reading this year. Just as well with the modern classics. I only read 12% so far of the 20 I wanted to read. It's a little bit less than in Q2, so that's down a little bit. Then there's the translations that have gone up with 27%. I'm doing good on those, but I've also been reading a lot of translations this year, so that's nice, I guess. And rereads, I've really excelled there. It's 27%. So I'm doing well on rereads. Not sure if that's a good or a bad sign because I'm not rereading the books that I wanted to reread. And yeah, with sequels, I'm not even sure what that is going to tell me right now because 40% sequels, but I've been rereading a lot of series, so that counts as sequels. What does it tell me? You see what I'm getting at? My stats are on my spreadsheet and the things I'm tracking are not actually things I'm interested in tracking right now. So I need to really rethink that. So going back to what I set out to do, I wanted to read bigger books this year. Didn't happen. I wanted to read books from my wish list. And I noticed I'm not even tracking that properly. So I bought some of the books that I've had on my wish list for ages, so yay, but I couldn't tell you how many. So if that is going to be a goal for the next year, this needs to be tracked better, as well as the series that I wanted to finish. I'm not even sure what series I'm currently in. I need a series tracker. But that scares me, because do you really want to know how many series you started and how many books are left in those? It's a scary big thing. Have to think about that. And yeah, my 20% tracker is, like I mentioned before, not doing well. So thinking about my reading goals, I'm not going to change anything at the moment. I still have most of the books that I wanted to read for my Discworld reread. I wanted to finish it this year, and I've read one book so far. So I think I have 6 or 5 left. I think 6. And it was okay to have 6 left in Q2, but now it's 3 months and October is already almost over, it feels. So how am I going to read 300 plus books in the next 2.5 months? That's not going to happen. I'm really halfway disappointed because I didn't feel like picking up the Discworld books. I don't know why, because once I finished my reread, I can pick up books that I want to reread from the series again. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But anyways, I need to prioritize this, but I don't know how, because no matter if I have the goal to do something or if I don't, it doesn't change how I'm reading. That's something I noticed this year. So many things are exhausting that the reading, I cannot make myself goals. I pick up whatever I feel like. I have in the back of my head some arbitrary goals and reading lists that I want to achieve, but they're not the lists that I made that I wanted to achieve this year. It's just an overall reading all around goal thing. But it's not really organized, and I'm not sure if a more organized reading would help me achieve to read those things. I've been trying for a couple of years now, or if maybe abandoning those reading goals would be better. I don't know. Maybe specific books to track off. I need to rethink this in the next 2.5 months, because although I'm happy with my reading, I'm happy with what I'm reading, I'm happy with the amount, I'm happy with the books, there are so many other books I want to read and so many other reading goals I want to have and want to follow, that this just go with the flow might not be the right way to go. But who knows? Maybe I'll come up with a super new tracking idea, because I noticed that the tracking is somewhat helping and I like doing it, but it's not motivating me. So I need a more motivating way to track the books that I'm meaning to read. That's basically all I have to say about my reading goals. I'm doing great on the numbers, but not on the things I set out to do. I think I've said that every quarter this year. So let's see how I'm doing with the life goals that I already messed up last quarter. And let's not pretend that I'm doing what I'm doing. Let's not pretend that I'm achieving what I'm achieving. October especially is showing that Q4 will not have any life goals. My life goal for Q4 is to just be and see what I get done. I've started doing a lot of micro things, like micro sleep, micro cleaning, and micro cooking and stuff. The little parts, whenever I feel like it and have the chance to do it and have the energy. I'm not sure if that's a way to go, but that seems to be working with October, where I struggle to get out of bed every morning and I'm really focusing on maintenance tasks. My movement, I wanted to move in the morning and in the evening. Scratch that. I'm just moving once a day and I'm happy. Mostly it's mornings. But the second exercise slot that I had planned out for the summer did not really go well. The same with the language learning. No matter what kind of method I try, I cannot turn this into a functioning habit. So I tried doing vocabulary Anki cards on the way to work, but then I take my bike some days and then the next day I forget, and then I'm in a captivating audiobook, or I'm behind on podcasts and think, oh, I'll just listen to podcasts instead of trying to do vocabulary, or I'm just in a very bad headspace and then learning a language is not the way to go. I tried doing short lessons at work in little breaks, but that didn't work longer than 2 days. I tried making myself a half an hour slot after work, so before I go on a walk or before I go home, like leaving the office and just still at the area around work before I get home, do something. But that didn't help. Not even one lesson. I don't think I even managed to do that once. And that's the thing that I'm really, really bad at the moment. Sitting down to do things in the evening other than watching series. I've given in to the fact that currently I just want to go home, turn off my brain and watch series. I've been watching a lot of series and a lot of new ones and a lot of rewatches, and it is nice and I don't mind particularly, unless I think about the amount of time that I'm spending on watching Netflix. Because in theory, I have the time to learn the language. I have the time to do the exercises in the evening. I have the time to socialize. But all I want to do is go home and do nothing. Well, watch Netflix. And I don't even know if it's good or bad. I can't really fathom it. So currently the overall exhaustion has increased again. My running has gone down. I'm too exhausted to run. My plan of running 3 times a week, like what did I say? The 5, 7, and 10K. Yeah, no, I'm good some days with running more often and shorter, but mostly with shorter runs. So I am not sure how that is going to develop as the winter and the weather is getting colder. As long as it doesn't snow and it's slippery and frozen over, I'm okay with running, but I have to go running in the dark in the mornings already. And like I said before, I'm not good at getting out of bed. So currently, the most thing I discovered with making goals and tracking things is that tracking helps keeping track of what I get done and what I do. But it doesn't really motivate me to do it. You see, I'm trying to find a way how this goal making is actually making me do things, and currently it is not. And so, like I said, for the rest of the year, I'm just trying to be and see what I get done, because I genuinely know what I want to do and what I want to do overall and what do I want to achieve. But I'm struggling with making it proper habits, proper progress, and doing it more than in microdoses. This isn't a good outlook for my goal keeping this year. I think where goals used to work really well in recent years for me, this year, they just don't work. And I'm not completely sure if that is an inner unhappy and dissatisfaction that I have with myself that I can't get myself out of with these goals, or if the goals are wrong, or if I'm tracking the wrong things. So we'll see what 2024 brings and how many books I've read at the end of the year and how much of this microdosing goals helps. Let me know in comments how your reading is going. Have you achieved all your reading goals? How are you doing on your life goals? How are you doing on your fitness goals, on anything? Let me know in comments. We'll talk about it and be underachievers together. Unless you're an overachiever, then I congratulate you. That's perfectly fine as well. You can share that as well. We're happy for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.